Hey, cool cat. This is Rochelle Fordyce, and I'm back. And I think I'm holding my finger over the microphone. Let me test that out. False alarm. It's fine, I think. Whatever. So, I'm back with day 16 of my 30-day video challenge. So, for today I thought we could do some storytelling. I have a fun story from my youth that I thought would be fun to share with you. Some people who know me well might have heard this before, but otherwise, it's new. So when I was pretty young, I think 8 or 9, I was in Brownies, and I went to Brownie Camp during summer, and one year I got kicked out. I remember it all pretty well, so let's see where to start. So in Brownie Camp, the camp is divided into different sections or areas based on age, I believe, and I was obviously in the younger Brownie Camp area. Each section is also divided into an area of, various tents. I can't recall exactly how many. I'd say maybe approximately 6 tents per section, something like that. Now, I remember, for some reason, I don't know what, there was this one girl from one of the other tents who seemed to have like this hate on for me, and it really bothered me because I was really self-conscious and I obviously wanted to be liked. I mean, what kid doesn't want to be liked? I mean, even nowadays, no matter what your age, what adult, what person doesn't want to be liked, right? But I digress. So anyway, I got it in my head that, hey, maybe I could try to talk to this girl and figure out if we can be friends, because, well, I guess I was an idealist or something like that, even at a young age. So I remember I worked up courage to confront her and talk to her, and I went to her tent where she was at and asked to speak to her. I can't even remember her name, this was so long ago. But I've always disliked confrontation, and I remember this was a stretch experience for me, and I was really nervous about approaching her, and I remember my heart was pounding, I was almost shaking. So I was putting a lot on the line here from my perspective. And I asked to speak to her, and I essentially just said, hey, do you think we can be friends? More or less. And I think she just sized me up with her eyes and then laughed in my face and said something like, ha! Why would I want to be friends with you? I was heartbroken and really sad and taken aback at that, and angry because I had just put myself out on the line here and she just laughed and insulted me in my face. So I was hurt and frustrated and angry, and I didn't know how to reply. I had all these emotions mixed up all together in one, so I just did what my instinct told me to do, which was mostly angry, an anger instinct. And I kicked her. I kicked her in the shin. And I probably said something else like fuck you or screw you or something like that. I probably didn't say fuck at that age, but I think I said something to that effect. And then I stormed off away from her tent to go back to my tent. And on the way, I remember, just to vent some anger, I saw a rock on the ground, so I picked it up and I threw it behind me because I just wanted to let off some steam. Well, apparently that rock I threw behind me hit somebody square in the back. I heard this ow or yelp or whatever from behind me, and I turned around and I saw this girl. She was holding her back, I guess, where the rock had hit her, and she turned around and she saw me, and I said, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that, because I honestly didn't. I had no intention of throwing a rock at someone. I had no reason to. And she looked at me and she didn't believe me, and her eyes grew kind of like angry and cold, and she says something like, yeah, right. And then she started bawling and crying because I guess it hurt, right? Now, I don't blame her for crying. I totally understand, but I honestly had no intention of hitting her. It was a complete accident, and the fact that she didn't believe me really made me sad and frustrated and upset. But it gets even worse from there. So the camp counselor that was assigned to this section of the Brownie Camp saw that I had thrown a rock, or maybe she just came to the realization that I threw a rock based on the girl's reaction, and she said something like, oh my god, Rochelle threw a rock. And she starts literally hyperventilating, like hardcore hyperventilating. And then everyone knows about this and everyone's giving me the evil eye. And I'm just like, oh my God. So literally the camp counselor is going like, and she needs to get a paper bag or something. And she can't stop hyperventilating. And they have to call the ambulance in from a city. So that's what they do. They call an ambulance in. And then when the ambulance arrives, the camp counselor, I guess, is calmed down by the ambulance people. And while this is happening, I could feel everybody's eyes on me, just staring at me evilly. Like, well, not evilly, but more like they thought I was evil for instigating this. Like, oh my God, that horrible, evil Rochelle, what a bad girl she is. She's such a bad person. And I felt so bad and misunderstood and angry about being misunderstood and hurt and frustrated. So of course my young little brain decides to show them and I decide to run away. But I decide to fake run away because I wasn't really going to run away for real. I just wanted to pretend. I don't know why I thought at the time that this was a good idea. I think I just wanted to run away to show that, well, when people run away, it's for a reason, right? It's because they're being misunderstood usually. Or another reason that people run away is probably because they feel they're being treated unfairly. And that's kind of how I felt. So I thought the appropriate response would be to run away and to show them that. But at the same time, I was smart enough to not run away for real because I just wanted to express these emotions through action. And I had every intention of returning right back to my campsite. But they didn't know that. So I ran away, or at least it looked like I was running away. It was my pretend runaway. And I knew exactly what I was doing in that I was running down the main path and then I was cutting back into some bushes and trees. And I knew the path to get back to the campsite because I think I had been on a hike or something earlier that day, so I remembered what the path was. But of course, moments after I left, somebody saw me and shouted, "Oh my God, Rochelle's running away!" And so one of the other camp counselors started running after me, and she didn't catch me until I was already partway through the bushes and the trees. But anyway, so I was in trouble, obviously, and I didn't know how much trouble I was going to be in, but I said, "Please don't call my parents, please don't call my parents, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good." And they were like, Anyway, they gave me the impression that they were going to consider giving me a second chance. But they essentially lied to me because the next day, without any warning, my parents were there to pick me up. I was pretty pissed off that they had essentially lied to my face and told me that they might not call when in fact they had no intention of not calling and probably called as soon as they could. What's kind of interesting about this story is that my parents have been divorced since I was a pretty young age. They separated when I was 3. And they both came to get me, so that was an interesting experience. So of course I was in trouble and I got grounded and all that jazz. I don't remember the details. I think I probably got some kind of spanking for it if I recall. Spankings always sucked. But seriously, don't spank your kid. I know it's less and less popular these days, but spanking is like the stupidest punishment in my opinion. It doesn't really do anything except teach you to fear your parent, which is fucking ridiculous. Pardon my French. And that's my crazy story. Fun times, huh? It's kind of ridiculous. It's like this fun story I like to tell now and then about the time I got kicked out of Brownie Camp. Like, who gets kicked out of Brownie Camp? Well, that's my video and story for today. I hope you enjoyed it and that it was entertaining to some degree. Leave me a comment if you like, or a thumbs up, or subscribe. All that jazz would be fun. And I'll see you soon. Ciao! Bye, guys.